Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. In today's video we are going to dive into some 1920s Buffalo nickels. I've got a stack of them right here. These ones have all been purchased from a coin shop. Please disregard the price that you see on them right here, or if you see any grading on them. These aren't my official grades, and I did not pay for them individually. I bought these as a lot. And that's my recommendation if you're looking to buy or sell these. You can get a much better deal if you buy them in a lot of 10 or 20 rather than trying to sell an individual Buffalo nickel. If you try and sell an individual Buffalo nickel, you'll probably get pretty frustrated because although they are cool coins, there's not much of a profit margin there for the dealers to make. So let's get into the nickels. Now this one right here is one of my better nickels. It's a 1935, and this one right here is a no-date Buffalo nickel. So these are just two examples of kind of one of my better nickels and one of my worst nickels. So most of the nickels that I come across while coin roll hunting will look a lot like this one on the right here, but it's kind of cool to see two extremes of the spectrum, one rather worn out one and one in great condition. Now the Buffalo nickel mint marks will be on the bottom right here. So they were made at the San Francisco, Denver, and Philadelphia Mint. So keep that in mind as we look through these Buffalo nickels. And haven't really got into the 1920s yet, but this one right here is 1919. An interesting fact about the 1920s Buffalo nickel is 1920s Buffalo nickels is that they're actually more rare than some of the 1919s. So the highest mintage year, if you start looking at the year they first came out all the way up until 1929, the highest mintage year is going to be 1919. In 1919 at the Philadelphia Mint, there were 60 million of them made. So if you've got a 1919, it's actually more common than the 1920s that we're going to look at starting now. So this one right here is a 1920. Now a lot of these have the dates restored on them using the special chemical called Nicodate that helps restore the dates on Buffalo nickels. Or on all nickels, I suppose. So we see the date right there. The G indicates what the dealer thought the condition was, which is good condition. So we've got a 1920 right here. We've got a 1920 Denver Mint, 1920 San Francisco Mint, and actually we can rewind a little bit and check out the mint marks on these. So the mint mark is located right there underneath the 5 cents on the reverse. I'll zoom in on this one so you can see it a little bit better. So there's the nice looking mint mark on this one right here. And 1923, you can barely make out the 23 on this one. We've got a 1926 right here. Again, these dates are kind of hard to make out, but if you tilt them a little bit, you can see the dates a little bit more clearly. Here we got a 1927. So let's take a pause. Actually, that was the last one, and we'll talk about some of the more rare dates. Now, the key dates for the Buffalo nickels are as follows: 1913 S Type 2, 1916/16 double die variety, 1918 8/7 double die variety, the 1921S, the 1924S, the 1926S, and the 1937D three-legged Buffalo nickel. So let's talk about those three that are from the 1920s. We'll start with the 1921S. So a lot of this information comes to you from the Spruce Crafts, as well as I've got the Cherry Picker's Guide to Rare Die and Variety Coins open right now, and the PCGS website. So got a lot of different resources that I'll use to talk about these three key date 1920 Buffalo nickels. So the United States Mint in 1921S, the United States Mint only produced Buffalo nickels at the Philadelphia and San Francisco Mint facility in 1921. The Philadelphia produced the majority of the specimens with a mintage of over 10 million, while the San Francisco only produced about 1.5 million coins. So this 7-to-1 ratio makes the San Francisco coin the rare of the two issues. Circulating specimens are somewhat easy to find, but you will have to pay a serious premium to buy a good one in 1921S condition. Another problem with these ones is that some of the strikes of the coins were not very good, specifically for the year 1921, 24, and 26. So that's part of why you can find them in okay condition, but you can't find them in very, very good mint state 65 or better condition. So on to the 1924 S. So 1924S is slightly more affordable than the 1921S issue, the 1921 San Francisco minted Buffalo nickel. Once again, the Philadelphia mint produced the majority of the coins with a mintage that exceeded 21 million for the year 1924. In the Denver Mint produced slightly more than 5 million. However, guess what? The San Francisco Mint made slightly less than 1.5 million. So that gives us kind of a 14-to-1 ratio of Philadelphia and Denver Mint Buffalo nickels compared to the San Francisco. So again, 1921 S. The mintages on 1921S were 1.5 million. The mintages on the 1924S, 1.3 million. And now on to the most rare of the 1920s, the 1926S. And I've got the PCGS price guide of this one. And interestingly, PCGS has not verified any mint state 66 or better. NGC has graded a couple at mint state 66, and they've sold for 92,000, 115,000, and 322,000 way back in 2008. So 2008 was that really high price of 322,000. Whoever sold that likely sold it before kind of the stock market started to crash in 2008, so they made out quite well selling that coin right before the crash there. Now on to the 1926S. So this is the last one that we'll talk about. It's the most rare of the 1920s Buffalo nickel. The 1926S in 1926, produced at the San Francisco Mint facility, trailed far behind both the Philadelphia and the Denver Mint numbers. Once again, the Philadelphia Mint produced a majority of the coins at almost 45 million, and the Denver Mint produced 6 million. However, the San Francisco Mint only produced 970,000 of those coins. So PCGS has a rarity and survival estimate that only 20 of them have survived at mint state 65 or better. However, they've only graded 13 of them at a mint state 65. So there's an estimated by PCGS an estimated approximately 7 more out there as far as the mint state 65 or better 1926S. So let's quickly take another look through these, and we'll kind of recap what we talked about today. So the real low mintage coins for the 1920s as far as the Buffalo nickel are the 1921S, 1924S, and 1926S. And let's look at one that has the San Francisco mint mark on it, so we can just kind of solidify where you actually find the San Francisco mint mark on the Buffalo nickel. So let me, so here is a S. This is the 1920S, so this isn't, unfortunately, one of those three that we're really looking for. So we have the S Mint mark right down there at the bottom. So check out for your San Francisco Mint Buffalo nickels dated 1920s. All right, everyone, that's all the info that I've got for you today. Hopefully you found this informative, got a nice little look at some 1920s Buffalo nickels that I've got, and gave you some information about which ones will be the hardest for you to find. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy!